Sheri. Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome to my channel. So in today's video, as you can see by the title, I'm going to be doing actually something that I'm really excited for, and like I'm interested to see the comparison. So I'm going to be doing how I used to do my makeup versus how I do my makeup now, and I'm going to be doing like half of my face how I used to do it and half how I do it now. This is gonna be really interesting because back in the day it was interesting to say the least. So I'm really excited to see the difference because I kind of remember like how I did it like very well. It was kind of like, how long ago would you say? Maybe like, I'm gonna go back to like when I first started wearing it, like in the beginning of high school, kind of end of middle school, because I don't remember doing my makeup like this when I was in high school. I feel like I did it a little bit more with a crease shade. Anyways, you'll see how I used to do it versus how I do it now. So if you guys want to see that, then just keep on watching. So I guess let's get started. I'm trying to think. I think I'm gonna do how I used to do it on this side and then how I do it now on this side, just because my eyebrows just naturally a little bit fluffier on this side. So for what I'm gonna do, I feel like it needs to be fluffier. Okay, so how I used to do it, how I do it now used to. Okay, so first I'm gonna fill in my eyebrow for how I do it now. So basically I just take, honestly I'm gonna be doing this video in like 2, 3, 1 more year and be like, ugh, my eyebrow was bad when I used to do it now, because I'm not good at doing my eyebrow now, but I just kind of like do what I can and it looks how it looks. I mean, I try to perfect it as much as possible, but I'm at the mercy of my eyebrows. So first I'm just gonna spoolie my eyebrows like kind of into place how I want them to be. You guys are gonna, this is gonna be so funny because how I used to do my eyebrows was crazy, like it's so funny. Okay, so now I'm just gonna take like an angled brow brush and I'm just gonna go into my little brow pomade, which I just this sounds like cheap, but y'all know me, I just repotted like a brow pencil just so it's more like movable and stuff. And I'm just gonna, I just take it up like to the bottom. I guess this is probably the closest you guys will ever get to an eyebrow routine because I suck at doing my eyebrows and no one wants to see that anyways. So I just put it really close to the bottom of my eyebrow and like line that, and then I do the same thing on the top, just really close to the top. And then I take some more product and I put it on the tail and like the middle part of my eyebrow. And then I take a spoolie and just kind of like brush that product through and like make it look a little like, y'all know how you do that thing in the front so it doesn't look all boxy and stuff. Okay, so this is pretty much what it is going to look like. Sometimes I'll make the tail a little bit longer if I'm feeling like it. Okay, so now I'm gonna take, I think this is like CoverGirl or something, it like wiped off, but it's like a brow shape and define brush thing. And I'm gonna take it and I just take it on that same brush and I swipe it through my brow just for some extra pigment, and also like when it dries down it'll be a little bit more hard, honestly. I'm laughing because this is gonna show up next time. Okay, you know what, let's just do it now. Actually wait, I'm gonna conceal my brow first. I would do them at the same time, but I didn't use to conceal my brow, so we're gonna conceal this brow to finish off this brow. And then sometimes I conceal the top, but I don't really need to today. If it like got really messy and like I don't like the way the top looks, then I will conceal the top and just go over it with like foundation stuff, but I don't need to do that today. So honestly, this is a good brow day because that looks pretty good. Okay, so now on to how I used to do my brow. So I'm going to be going back and forth. I'm not going to do the whole side of the face, or should I? And now I'm gonna do this brow. So what I used to do back in the day is I would just take whatever, honestly I think it was a brown mascara, but now since I have this brow thing, I'm just gonna take this. So I would just take whatever brown mascara or brow thing that I had, and I would just comb through my brows with it. This is taking me back to when I used to do my brows like that. I'm gonna let that dry a little bit. Obviously it looks crazy, but once it's like dried down, I'll take a Q-tip and go around it, because that's what I used to do. But if I do it while it's wet, it's just gonna smear everywhere. So now we're gonna actually move on to my eyeshadow of how I used to do it. So I'm just gonna take this NYX pot concealer, and I kind of feel like I remember I did used to use the pot concealer. I'm just gonna take this on a flat brush, and I'm just gonna put it all over my eye. And honestly I used to do this, and it used to be so like streaky, because I would literally use a brush like how I'm using this, and I would just like go back and forth and like not tap or like not really do anything. So yeah, I remember just it used to be so streaky. Okay, and now this. Okay, so I remember when I was first starting out, I just found this little gold shadow that my sisters used to use, because all my sisters are older than me, so they got started doing makeup like before me and stuff, so I would kind of just like follow in their tracks. So I had this little gold eyeshadow that I used to use, but then I found this baby, you can't even see it, there you go, Lorac Unzipped Gold palette, and me and my sister were wilding for this palette, because there is a gold unleashed in this palette that is literally fire. So I'm just gonna take that, and what I used to do is literally I used to just put it all over my lid, which actually isn't that bad, but there's just like nothing else to it. It's just this on the lid, which this is such a pretty shade. It's so like gold and stuff, but that's how I used to. Wow, this is taking me back, period. And I remember, okay, so this is actually not when I first started doing it, but a little bit after. Like when I first started off, I'm not gonna lie, I used to just put like a gold shimmer shade, but then when I got this bad boy, I used to take Unlocked and put it on the inside, just make it a little bit more ombre effect. Oh my god. Okay, so that's how I used to do my makeup done. So now I'm gonna do like how I do my makeup now. So I'm just gonna take a concealer. This is a Juvia's Place concealer in the shade 16. I'm gonna take it as like a eye primer on my eye, eyeshadow primer, and I'm just gonna blend that out. And this literally was like life-saving for me when I figured out, like, first of all, I used to use the beauty sponge dry, which when I do my foundation on this side, I'm gonna use a dry beauty sponge because that's what I used to do. But once I wet that bad boy, and once I started using concealers like this, I'm just not good at using pot concealers on my eye, because I mean, I guess if I put it down and then I blend it out with a beauty blender, a beauty sponge, it would probably be easier. But these are my jam, like these little like with the little applicator are my jam, because like they just work so much better. Okay, so now that I have that, I'm basically still gonna do a shimmer eye, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a shade in my crease and kind of do a little like cut crease thing. Basically, if I felt like I wanted to do a shimmer eye, what I would do like to achieve that eye, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna take the Modern Renaissance palette, just because this is another palette, like once I started getting more into like crease shades and stuff like that, that I used to use 24/7. So it's kind of like using an oldie but a goodie on this eye of how I do my makeup now. So yeah, I'm gonna take Raw Sienna, and I'm gonna take that and I'm just gonna put it into my crease. But I'm gonna do like, I'm not gonna bring it all the way in the circle into my inner corner. I'm gonna kind of like blend it a little bit upwards. And obviously I do my makeup in a bunch of different ways now, but like basically how I do my makeup now is however I feel during the day, honestly. And like if I want to decide to do a shimmer eye, I would like pick whatever type of eyeshadow look that I wanted to do, if that makes sense. But before I would just do the same thing. So yeah, and I'm doing my on how I do my makeup now, how if I wanted to do like a shimmer eye right now, that's kind of how I would do it, if that makes sense, because now I just do like whatever eye look I want, and I kind of like branch out and try different stuff. Before I wouldn't, because I was like scared that I didn't know how to do it, and I didn't want to look like a fool like going to school. I mean, babe, what is this? But I didn't want to like go to school looking like a fool and stuff. But turns out I ended up looking like a fool when I went, because this, I mean, actually it doesn't really look that bad, but the rest of my face is gonna look bad. And keep in mind, my face is actually getting, like, I think as of right now, and like as it's progressing, my face is as clear as it's like ever been. I mean, I know I still have like imperfections and stuff, and you're like, but so it's as clear as it's ever been, so it'll look a little bit more not as bad, because I used to like have little breakouts and stuff, because I used to do my makeup and I used to not take it off at the end of the night. Like I used to just sleep in that joint, like sleep in a bad boy. I'm surprised my face wasn't worse. Okay, so now I'm gonna take Real Gar, and I'm gonna put that under that shade in the same positioning. So now I'm just gonna take Red Ochre. Okay, and then I guess just to go with the flow, I'm gonna take that same Unzipped Gold palette, because it's still fire, TBH, and I'm gonna take Unleashed, and I'll do that same thing. I'm gonna put it in the inside of the eye look. I feel like you guys can't see that well of a difference, but there's a difference. I'll zoom in at the end so you guys can see everything up close and everything. So yeah, now also what I do now, I mean, I might as well do it, I'll put a little something in my brow bone, which is my jam. Like I love doing this brow bone. And also I'll hit it with a little inner corner. I need to reach for this palette more because it's actually fire. And I feel like the inner corner really opens up your eye. So yeah, okay, now we're gonna move on to foundation. So I used to use like that cheap Dollar Store LA Colors foundation, but I don't have that anymore. I actually did have it for my Dollar Store video, but I threw it away because like it was not my color and it made my skin itch. So I'm just gonna use the same foundation on both sides, but obviously it's gonna be a little bit different like on each side. So now I'm just gonna use my how I used to do my makeup, and I'm just gonna take my foundation, and right now I'll mix in a little bit of a concealer that's a little bit darker than me so I can match myself. But before I would literally just take any foundation I could find, unless it was like my older sister because she's like darker than me. But like my other sisters, I would just take any foundation I could find and just put it straight on my face. I actually did spray my face before this, not thinking about it, but I used to go no primer, so I just sprayed some Fix Plus, but I didn't do primer. I'll do primer on like how I do my makeup now, but like I said before, I used to not do primer at all. Okay, so that's how I do it. And now I'm gonna take this Real Techniques sponge, and I'm not gonna wet it, I'm just gonna leave it dry because that's how I used to do it. I'm just gonna tap in this foundation. So now we're gonna do foundation and face how I do it now. Just gonna take some primer. It feels so weird just priming like one side of my face. It literally feels so weird. So primer, and now I'm gonna take my foundation. Recently I've been doing the same thing. I'll just dip into the foundation with a brush, and I do the top half of my face first just because like I just like to do it in an order. So I'll do it here, and then I'll take a concealer that I have that's darker than me, which this is the NYX Gotcha Covered concealer in the shade Mocha. So I'll take this, and then I'm gonna put it on top of my foundation. It looks darker down here, but once you blend it all together, it kind of is my shade. So then I'll take a wet beauty sponge and just tap away and blend that out. Okay, the eyelids are looking a little bit too similar for me, so I think I'm gonna darken up the crease a little bit on this eye, which is fine because like I always do that, so no big deal. I probably should have did a cut crease, but I was just feeling like doing something more soft. And now for my how I do my makeup now, I'm gonna do some concealer. I never did this before. It looks so weird just doing half of my face, but okay, so I'll do some concealer. Like I said, I never used to do this before. I was always just so scared. I mean, once I started getting like more into makeup, obviously, but like when I first did it, first of all, like I said, I would kind of just use what my sisters had on hand, and like until I started like getting my own stuff, but I kind of just used my sisters had on hand, and I didn't want to use all their stuff. So yeah, I kind of just like used what I could, and I was just scared to do like other stuff because I didn't want to mess it up or look crazy, like I said. And also I was one of those people who was like, I don't want to do too much makeup because I'm scared that I'm not gonna like the way I look without makeup, which is understandable. But now it's like I get the best of both worlds. I'm ugly both with and without. No, I'm just kidding. But okay, so now to continue, I'm just doing this side until I say I'm moving on. Just assume that I'm doing how I do my makeup now. I recently just started doing this. I'll take the Airspun powder, which is like a lighter. Actually, I almost completely forgot. I'm gonna cream bronze, and I'm gonna use that same concealer that I mixed in with my foundation. I literally almost forgot. Oh my god, why am I using this? I don't ever use this one, but I'm going to. I usually use the Fenty Beauty one, which is fire, and I love it. But so I'll do that, and I'll also take it up here. Okay, and then I take this pencil brush and just blend everything up. Well, not everything, because I'll blend this out, but I'll blend my cheek blood bronzer upwards. I'm actually gonna take a little bit of my Fenty Beauty matchstick, which is what I usually use. So you see how this is a little bit like not as full coverage as this, and you can still see like some pigmentation, and it's lighter, and this is more hydrated and just full coverage. Okay, so now I'm gonna take the Airspun powder, and I'm gonna set my under eye, and basically where I put the concealer, because I want it to be like with lighter powder, just so it stands out more. And if you're wondering why I'm not setting my other side, because I never did. I never used to set anything. This makeup, let's be honest, was off of my face before I left the door to go to school. If I did it 15 minutes before I left, it was off 2 minutes after I did it. Like nothing was staying anywhere with no primer, no setting powder. Are you joking? And then on the rest of my face, I'll take this Makeup Revolution Luxury Powder, Banana. Now what I'm going to do is cheek stuff. So I tell you guys 24/7 how I used to not like blush, but now I'm a blush fanatic. Why am I all over the place? When I'm doing two things that has to do with my makeup, I'm like all over the place. Okay, so first I'm gonna do my bronzer, and I just take this big fluffy brush and tap it off, because my bronzer is broken, so it's basically just pigment, so you have to be very careful with it, because a little goes a long way and you don't want to look crazy. I used to be so afraid to do bronzer and stuff, which I still kind of am a little bit, because like if you mess it up you can look crazy. But okay, so now actually, you know what, I did do bronzer. So I used to have this bronzer that was a mix of like bronzer, but it was also really shimmery. Honestly, looking back on it, it could have probably been like a highlighter. Like if I got it now, I'd probably use it as a highlighter. But I have this empty trophy wife thing that has a little bit in it, so I'm just gonna take this Real Technique sponge. I'm gonna go into the bronzer that I have, tap it out, and then go into this trophy wife. I'm gonna put it right here. This is taking me back. I specifically remember doing like bronzer with this shimmery. Okay, that's way too gold. I overdid it. But with this like shimmery thing that was like not, it said bronzer, so I used to use it as bronzer. I'm gonna fix that because it's way too gold. But yeah, it said bronzer, so I used to like use it as bronzer, but it was like just shimmery. So this is literally what it used to look like. I mean, less gold and a little bit more darker pigment, like that. Okay, so now it actually doesn't look that bad, but I think it's just like how I do my makeup now. So it's like, and obviously I use a different foundation and stuff, but it doesn't look that bad. It actually looks kind of like natural. So on this side I'm gonna take blush because I'm in love with blush now. So now we're gonna move on to like lashes and stuff. So this is what's gonna like get me on how I used to do my makeup. So I used to just do mascara, which you guys are probably like, okay, that's fine. But the thing is, I used to have a friend who used to always tell me to wipe off my mascara that got on my lids, but for some reason I didn't want to. I think it's because I didn't want the gold to get away, and also I thought that it made my eyelashes look longer, like it being on my lid would make no sense. So I'm gonna put on some mascara and I'm gonna kind of like get it on my lid because I used to get mascara on my lids. Should I add a wing? Because I did used to do a wing at one point. Okay, I'm gonna add a wing. No, should I? Okay, I'm gonna add a wing because like later on in life my go-to was like a wing, but I'm gonna make it a little bit different. And like that's another thing that I'm like kind of proud of myself for. I don't have to do a wing every time I do my eyeshadow. Every time I do my makeup, honestly I used to always think that all I ever could do was a wing, and I think the reason why is because I never had like extravagant eyeshadow. Like I do not extravagant now, but like I do much more in my eyes than just this. So but I'm also gonna make it straight because I used to do it straight. That's pretty much how I used to do it. And I used to take it halfway, which is actually a thing that people do now. I was before the trends. No, I'm just kidding, but I only took it halfway. So this is basically honestly what it used to look like. I am gonna take a flat brush and drag it. Honestly, I'm exaggerating, but I did used to drag under it. So now back to mascara and getting it all over my lid. Like I said, yeah, I used to get it all over my lid and never want to like remove it. I'm just gonna tap it on my lid a little bit. There we go. There we go. I don't know if it was that bad, but it was pretty bad. Okay, and now how I do my makeup now. Y'all know I'm a lash fiend. I can't leave the house. Actually, that's not true. When I do my makeup, I feel like it's not complete without a lash. So I'm thinking back, how did I get so much mascara on my lid? Because I'm pretty good at like not getting mascara on my lid now, but like before it was literally like this, like it was all over the place. I mean, not big glop in the middle, wasn't like stretch, but okay. So I put on mascara and now I'm just gonna put on a lash. Okay, so while my eyelash glue is drying, I'm gonna do my under eye for how I do my makeup now. I never used to do it back in the day when I was just scared to do it, and also like I don't know, I was very scared to do things because I didn't want people to look at me like a fool basically, or I didn't want people to like think I was like that I thought that I was cute because I did it. Like I don't know if that makes sense. I just didn't want to draw extra attention to myself. I remember this one time my friend from school tried to put on lipstick on me and I was like freaking out because internally, because I was like, people are gonna be like, who do you think you are, like wearing lipstick? Like no, who do you think you are? But now it's like I don't care. I mean, I care about what people think. I'm not even about to sit here and lie, but like I like to do makeup, so I'm gonna do it. So now I do like an ombre lip. You guys know this if you've been watching my videos before. I never did. And now I'm gonna put on my lash. You know what's crazy? This actually doesn't look that bad, but when I used to do it, it used to look really bad. I feel like there's gonna be some people who like this side better just because it looks more natural, like with the eyebrows and stuff. But like I said before, it was really bad back in the day. Like, it didn't look this good. I don't know why it looks so good. I mean, it doesn't look good, but I don't know why it looks good still. So yeah, I guess let's do a little zoom closer so you can see all the craziness on this side. Honestly, what I should have done was a cut crease, because I do a lot of cut creases now still, and this is still like a toned down version of like what I would do now, but I just kind of wanted to stay in the same wheelhouse of like a natural bronzy look, if that makes sense. This is how I do my makeup now, and this is how I used to do my makeup. Y'all can't tell me this doesn't look bad. Like with the mascara, guys, the mascara on the lid. So this video was interesting because, like I said, I feel like it doesn't look that bad because like it looks more natural and stuff, but I don't know, guys. I don't know, maybe I should go back to how I used to do my makeup. Maybe. Tell me which side you like better. Obviously, if like, tell me, like, I feel like this would look good if I didn't have that mascara. So hold on, let's do it like this. I don't know. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Turn on my post notifications to be notified. Turn on my post notifications to be notified every time that I upload. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.